Salam alaikum. So I would like to thank Professor Stepp for this wonderful invitation and this opportunity to get in touch with the health world, mental health world, and with this beautiful part of the world also. So I'm Isabelle Savard, and I will talk to you about what I want. We do the introduction. So I have to declare that I've received funding for this project. So two different funding, one startup from Quebec Pain Research and Network, and another one that I've just received from the Social Science and Humanities Research Council of Canada. So I'm not working alone. I'm working with a big teams. I have co-investigators and some collaborators, including patient partners. We also just recruited doctorate students and interprofessional teams that include different professionals. So the objective of today's presentation is to describe the prototype, because it's really at the prototype stage, prototype of technical tools that will be used to guide the learning pathways of patients with complex disease, and that implies both physical and mental issues, and tools that will be used to orchestrate the necessary interprofessional collaboration. So when we talk about complex impairment, we also have to think about the learning curve the patient and their loved ones have to go through. Learning curve to learn about the disease, to learn about self-management strategies, about care that may be considered, and about how to become an effective collaborator in these cares. Of course, there are variations according to life patient context. So what online community can do is sometimes a big mess. We know that, you probably know that Dr. Google is not always the best doctor in the world. So the patient or the learner has to learn how to select resources, or they have to have access to a repository of resources that have been pre-selected by an interprofessional team. So that's exactly what we have done with the QPRN. We have built the resources repository, which have been evaluated and selected by expert interprofessional teams. So we have resources for the patient, caregivers, and also healthcare professionals. It's quite standard for the selection of the resources, but we have added a pedagogical touch in it. So the patient can specify if he wants to just get information, about the sickness, or if he wants to take action and develop different strategies to self-manage the sickness. So here you have an example of what looks like the resources when they are shown to the patient. So we have the subject, which here is pain education. We have the type of resources, which is a video that lasts 7 minutes. And we also have the pedagogical goal of the resources. So while we were working with the patient partner, they told us, well, it's really great to have that kind of repository, but it's not enough. We need more guidance, and we need more strategies to get our motivation, to maintain our motivation. So we've done a research project that's called Force 3. In which we try to find strategies to use data from the training portal or repository for pedagogical purpose. We had two main purposes. personalize and improve the learner's patient learning path, or the second one, to guide the continuous improvement of the resource offering in the repository. For the first objective, we have developed a plugin that we can integrate in a Moodle environment. The plugin is called My Pathway, Mon Parcours en français. So this allows the patient to select between different pathways that could have been prepared by an interprofessional team, but for the purpose of this prototype, we just did it ourselves with our team. And when the patient chooses the pathway, he can look at what it can he can help to do, or the themes that they can work on. You can have a resource view, which is a list of the different resources that you have to go through in the learning pathway. But you can have also a competency view, which will specify what you will be able to do after the end of this learning pathway. So behind this is we have developed a self-management self-competency profile, self-management competency profile. Of course, we won't show this like this to the patient, but it's just show you that we have formulated different components, and we have planned different level from beginners to advanced to develop the self-management competency. The X means that we have evaluation form to be able to follow this. So, and behind each of the resources, we have metadata to specify which competency component can be worked on, and also which level can be reached or worked. So for now, we have just self-evaluation tool, but in another project, we would like to do tools that will help to share information with health professionals on a common language and with common references. Here's an example of, we have developed a system of badges that the learner can activate or not. So the badges, the learner can target one badges, or he can deblock some badges in the different pathways. The second goal was to get the continuous improvement of the resource offering. So we have put it in place a learning record store, LRS, that collected stock data from the interaction between the learner, patients, and the portal. And we use this data for enhancing and customizing the learning paths, and also for the continuous improvement of the resource offering. So you can see here what's behind the portal. You have, of course, the different type of resources that we have in the repository, and you have also the different functionality of the plugin we have built. For an example, the type of report we can produce to improve the resource offering is the set of available resources by competency component. We can seek to identify holes in the offering also. So components for which there's a lack of resources and all those kind of things. So the next steps are now to really optimize the interprofessional collaboration, and also to engage the patient as an active participant in this collaboration. So for this part of the project, we will work on post-COVID condition. Of course, the condition is not really important in the tool we are developing. We seek to develop tools that can be reused in different condition contexts. But we had a request for the post-COVID-19 condition, because the needs are really huge, either for the patient and for the professionals, because we try to find a way to manage this sickness. So when we talk about complex impairment, we also talk about the need for interprofessional collaboration, which implies variations in professional cultures, in practice settings, in patient life context, and in the complexity of the case also. So it's better to know what the others are thinking or doing with the same goal as you have, the well-being of the patient. So we need to bring the knowledge explicit. So basically what we are doing is we develop knowledge bases that we use in plugins that are integrated in the portal, plugins to follow the development of competency, here self-management, and also plugins to guide the learning pathways and guide the different interaction between the users of the portal, including the patient. So in this part of the project, we really want to put the accent on the portal design teams, which include the interprofessional health team. So we want to catch the interaction and to find a way to augment, to put more interaction in the portal. The first tool we will use, we will try to verify, is the self-management logbook. It's a kind of portfolio where the learner will be able to put some proof of the competency development. And the thing is, we always check with a small number of patient partner an idea. Sometimes this one comes from a patient partner, and then after that we'll do more extensive trial. So the acronym is in French. Since it was in the title of the presentation, I thought it was a good idea to let you know, but for you today, and with my rusty English, I just translated it for today. I don't think this name will be kept by the linguistic revision, but we'll see. So we are talking about educational scripting online, collaborative, integrating alternatives and links. The links we want to integrate are the links between the different intelligence artificial tools, but also with the instructional design of the learning pathways, and also with the learning environment where everybody is collaborating. So as a reminder, we want the patient to learn about the disease. We want him to learn about the roles and responsibilities of the different professionals who they will meet, but also with whom they will collaborate. And we want also the different professionals with involved with the patient to have a common language and understanding of the patient goals and learning pathways, but also of what other professionals are doing in conjunction with their own work. So to do that, we need to represent knowledge, structure it, and make it accessible. We need to process knowledge engineering. So the avenues we are exploring now is to proceed with ontological engineering, with knowledge base that can be used, of course, by the patient, but also by an advisor system who would use this knowledge to support the patient in his learning pathways, and that could advise him on the basis of what is agreed in the literature, and also the advice prepared by an interprofessional team who is working with us. This is based on previous work that has been published in the Computers and Education. Just to make you a short story, we use we identify variable that we use in an ontology as a basis of the knowledge base. So with this way of functioning, we can compare every data in the different silos. This knowledge is used by the software agent to help the learner to go through a series of tasks in the learning pathway. We can also have an interprofessional team that comes with a range, of course, of expertise and cultures and backgrounds. So here you just have an illustration of the patient who is collaborating with a software agent named Smart Goal, and it helped the patient to formulate the Smart Goal. Behind these agents are rules, rules under the form of if this, then display this. Here is just an example from another project, but we have the example with a written message that will be displayed, but we can also have video or audio messages. So a number of software agents will advise the patient during the learning pathway, and a number of rules enable the system to display the advice appropriate for the patient and also for the interprofessional teams. Here is an example of the prototype message. So what we are trying to build is an interprofessional record store. We baptized it this way. And we will use both top-down engineering, top-down manner, which will start with the first version of the ontology and knowledge bases, but also will use bottom-up strategies to keep it up to date and to adjust the model according to the data we will collect from the interaction in the portal, in the same manner that we use the learning record store. So that's what's behind. We will also probably have some apps that will be selected according to different criteria from the interprofessional teams, and we want to be able to use the data from those apps in the competency development system. So knowledge bases that are under construction now, maybe we'll have more, but we have a model of the disease and its consequences and the strategies for self-managing, models of patient and maybe their caregivers, models of interprofessional variable. So to come with, wow, I'm on time. To come back with the two goals, maybe I would add take-home messages. So I think it's really important to engage the learner in the pathway, but also in the design of a system like this, and to engage an interprofessional team who will give advice and help to take decisions to make sure that we have a system that will be useful. So thank you very much.